Traditionally, sports has been dominated by men both in participation and governance, but there's been a shift where more females have become active participants on and off the field. Even though the involvement of women has progressively evolved, there is still insufficient investment in women's sport. The South African sports industry has made little progress towards gender equality, and the gap between men and women is significant.
If we just run through some of the gender pay gaps in the various sports, in football, between Banyana and Bafana, it's about 1,100%. That's the gap. So Banyana, a win fee is about 5,000 Rand. Bafana, a win fee is about 60,000. The Springboks or the Boks women, an average male player will earn roughly 3 million a season at minimum, and an average women box player will earn roughly 221,000. So that's about 255%. That's the gap. And then in cricket, it's better. It's only 300%. So where a Proteas woman player will earn roughly 450,000, a male Proteas player will earn roughly 1.8 million a year.
Achieving pay equity in sport also requires equal investment, and closing the gap requires a series of mind shifts.
As corporates, we really have to put a strong business case to our stakeholders to say, please do invest in women's sport. And how we've done that as momentum to inspire other corporates is that we've understood that this is a long time game. If you're in it to sell policies today, you're not going to survive. You need to understand the national cause. You need to be able to understand the gender pay gap and our role in society in helping grassroots sports athletes realize their commercial value.
Commercial investment has also proved to play a big role in the success of sporting teams. Banyana, who are the current African champions, the Proteas netball team, who were semi-finalists in the previous World Cup, and the Proteas women's cricket team, who reached the final of the T20 World Cup earlier this year, are typical examples of how corporate investment influences performance.
You take netball and Banyana, you can kind of see the shift in the mentality from the players. You look at Mamelodi Sundowns, what they're doing for their ladies, and you can kind of see like the gap between that. And I think obviously you work so hard as a player, but I think as soon as you're going to put remuneration in the players' work ethics, you kind of get even more purchase. So I really love what Telkom has done for the netball. And also like it's kind of like the shift that momentum did for us. And you can kind of see the game grow, literally stature by stature.
Equal pay days requires long-standing efforts from corporates and even from government.
More sponsors would definitely push the needle and would allow federations and teams to be able to pay women more. But perhaps we need to start looking at it from a different angle, such as what other countries are doing, and saying that beyond the playing field, men and women play a sport. It's their job and employment. So therefore, employment equity should apply.
With the 2023 dubbed the Year of Women in Sports, the swell of calls and the fight for equal pay for play are perhaps more justified and worth serious consideration. SABC News, Johannesburg.